Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live for Financial Fitness Friday. I have my co-host here, Dave, and we're going to talk about something I think is on the horizon. And I've been saying this, hinting at it for a little bit, and the markets are just starting to turn. Now, I do believe that we are in for an economic winter, and I think that we are in for an economic winter that we haven't really seen before. Think like 2008. But I think some of the differences in 2008, there were more things that they could do, right? The problem is right now we have inflation because of all the money printing and the economic war with China. Okay. And so what that means is if we lower interest rates and pump liquidity into market, meaning print more money, our money becomes less and less and less valuable. We lose purchasing power. Okay. Which would also be bad. And then you can go into hyperinflation. And then hyperinflation, if you've ever seen third world countries, okay, like Venezuela and certain places where they have just like truckloads of cash and they're burning, that's because it's worthless. Okay. And that is also, that's very dangerous. That's more dangerous than, being in a depression or recession. And I think that is a very real possibility. It's actually a probability at this point, right? And nobody's really talking about it. And how do I know? Well, one, I can see like how business is going, like small business. I have an advantage. I see tons and tons of businesses. Two, I think greed and the mass adoption of AI across all companies is knocking out entry level jobs. All right. And if you think about it, that entry level job, that's how people learn. That's how people get skills. That's how people pay their bills. All right. And then you look at the debt. All right. Credit card debt, all time high. Student loans, all time high. All right. And now I think the best way to do this is wipe out all the debt, put that on the banks, right? And not have the taxpayers pay it. But that's probably not going to happen because of lobbyists. All right. And so if you've been with us this far, stay with me because I'm going to teach you guys and show you guys what you can control and what you can't control. Okay. So that's really what this is about. Control the controllables, leave the rest to God. All right. And so what I would say is this: strong economic habits, right, are going to be huge. If you're somebody that's making 100,000 a year or your household's making 200,000 a year, stop spending 200 and shit. If we're really being honest, most of you guys are spending 250, 300 a year. Okay. Therein lies the big problem. All right. So what does that mean? It means knock down your lifestyles a little bit, be a little bit more humble in these times. And nobody wants to hear that, but that's the truth. Okay. So if you're making 100,000 a year, knock down your expenses, try to get down to 50, try to bank some money, try to invest some money. Okay. Because in every downturn, there is massive opportunity, right? I checked what the markets are doing. Markets are down. Crypto is down big. You've seen Bitcoin go from a $125 high all the way down. I think it hit 80 or 82, right? That is an awesome and outstanding buying opportunity, right? Now, some of the things I do, I have weekly buys set up, okay? Those weekly buys go in no matter what, right? And that is going to help you and really help you build wealth and get into a better position. Real estate, I think real estate is going to tank. All right. If you look here in Tampa, it's the biggest market that has the most foreclosures right now. Okay, per house or per household, right? So what does that mean? That means all the pricing and prices are going down. That means there's going to be great opportunities to buy. All right. So cash in these times is king. Assets will go down. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you don't have strong habits in these times, you're going to lose, and you're going to lose big. It's going to be a real struggle for you. All right. So what does that mean? Save money, invest money, look for opportunities. And it doesn't mean go jump at them today, right? There's nothing wrong with waiting and planning and seeing where prices go, okay, and taking your time, because now it's going to be a very, very strong buyer's market, It's absolutely not a seller's market. Okay. And this creates a ton of opportunities from a business perspective, right? Because I know a lot of entrepreneurs listen to this. From a business perspective, make sure that you're doing everything that you can. Okay. Make sure you're over delivering. Work on wowing one customer at a time and turning one customer into two, two into four, four into eight. All right. Because if you can, every time you survive one of these cycles as an entrepreneur, right, there's a lot of competitors that get knocked out. A lot of people leave your space, leave your industry, try something new, right? I can't tell you how many people went from being coaches of some sort, right, to now AI experts. All right. And there's always a trend that these guys are jumping on, right? If you stay in your lane, you gain market share, you gain reputation. Okay. You gain clients, you gain a book of business. All right. I'm boring. I've done the same thing for the last 20 years, guys. But you know what? It's allowed me to build and build and build and provide for my family um, at a level that, you know what, I'm pretty proud of. Okay. It allows me to give back. It allows me to do some charity work. All right. Why? Because I'm sticking with the process. I'm not jumping into this thing or that thing or this thing. Right. And that's the key. So many people jump around. Well, I don't want to learn a whole new industry, right? I'm pretty good at what I do. I want to stay with that. Don't jump around in these times unless your industry absolutely goes dead. Like I would tell you, if you're in logistics, it's probably time to start looking for something else. If you're in a job that is easily replaced by AI, it might be time to start looking for something else. Where do I see a ton of opportunities, guys? In the trades, electricians, plumbers, okay, anything blue collar. If you guys, if you're thinking of making a jump, make a jump into something like that. And I understand, yeah, you got to go to school and you got to do all this stuff, but you know what? You have blue sky or blue ocean when you get out. All right. I don't think robots are going to be doing that soon. I really don't. I really don't. A lot of people don't want to do that because it's actually hard work. It's physical work. But you know what? That's where the opportunity is. Going where the crowd isn't going. All right, Dave, what do you got on this?
Yeah, I agree, man. Staying to add to everything that you're saying, stay in those areas also that you need, auto techs, right? Even as crazy as it sounds, because I'm a car guy, but the EV side of things, right? There's really no techs for that stuff, and who knows where it's going to go, but there's still a demand out there for it, for what little market share that takes up, because nobody's fixing these things. You have Teslas now that are, coming up on 10, 15 years old, and they're still on the road. But you know what's happening? Battery failure, cells that are holding a charge. Those things need people to fix that stuff too. And it's tedious, and there's some really good profit in that sector of mechanic. Another good thing that you were saying in the trades, I think one thing that's overlooked is public adjusting, right? I've used the public adjuster twice. They're awesome, especially when property and casualty and homeowners insurance isn't for you. It's for the banks, right? It's designed for them to win. And there's a need for that. Only 3% of insurance claims are done with a public adjuster. And typically they get you what you need instead of settling in an insurance company or getting beat out and then getting pissed off and having this stuff come out of your money. Now, I'm done with my rant on that. Jonathan and I have been talking about this almost all the time. It doesn't matter if it's Monday or Friday. Play offense, man. You got to play offense and skill up, right? If there's something you want to do, if it's real estate, if it's even with this downturn in crypto, start skilling up, start doing your research, start learning things, start getting around the right people. Okay. You want to have all this stuff in place, so when you're ready to make that big move, you can make it. But don't wait to make a big move either. Start taking action while you're learning these skill sets. And I think it's funny when you're saying about all the coaching and the gurus and all this other stuff, and the AI is the hot thing. And you are starting to see it, right? But guys, don't fall into that trap. You want to know about AI? Ask AI. AI will tell you what you need to know, believe it or not. You don't need to freaking go into that rabbit hole. Hey, buy my prompt. No, you can freaking ask AI to freaking create your prompt. It's pretty freaking simple. So there you go. There's your AI tip of the day.
Yeah. And guys, I know Dave said big swing. Okay. But typically, anytime I've taken a big swing,
He says,
I fucking hit myself in the head with the bat. All right. Seriously. I'm not kidding when I say that.
yeah,
Like I can name 3 of them, 4 of them in the last 6 years, and they were all multiple 6-figure failures. Okay, I'm up here. I can admit that I learned from it. Right, there's nothing wrong with hitting a single. There's nothing wrong with bunting and getting on base. All right, it's adding up those little wins, building that momentum. Okay, and being sound financially. Like you don't want to take a swing. Like think about it like this: if you're worth, let's say, $1 million, okay, I wouldn't be risking more than 10% of that roll on anything. Okay. And as I say this, I realize how heavy I am in certain assets. Okay. And I will tell you, I haven't followed that, but I haven't followed it because the risks that I have taken have paid off. And typically, when you have something that is really working for you, you don't want to pull off of that. Okay, so if you think about where I would be heavier in that distribution, I'm heavier in digital assets and I'm heavier in real estate. But why and why am I comfortable there? One, I know the space, I know it very very well, and the other part of that is that hey, it's working. Okay, the fact that it's working, I want to keep going and keep adding to the strategy, and I do think there it's sound, sound principles. Okay. Even though, Bitcoin's down 45,000 in the last 2 months, right? I'm still very comfortable holding that and I'm still very comfortable adding to it. Why? Because I don't think in 3 years it's going to be down 45,000. It's probably going to be, you're probably going to be looking at something that starts with a low end 250, high end, 750. All right. And I'm okay riding that out. But you have to be okay with the risk. You have to be okay with the volatility. You have to be okay with the swings, right? Most people aren't like that. Unfortunately, I'm numb to it. I'm really numb to a lot of shit at this point because I've been through the ringer. All right. But I still live way below my means. I still save. I still invest. Okay. So all the principles that I'm teaching you guys and trying to have you guys do, especially as I think there's an economic winter on the horizon, everyone needs to adapt that. Okay. Because if you don't, you're going to struggle. Right. And that's the last thing we want. Okay. And if you're focused on business, great. Focus on your business. Build your clients, help your clients, over deliver on value. All right. That shit never goes out of style. Right. It's like manners. All right. Manners are always great. Saying please, saying thank you. These things work.
mm-hmm.
I'm serious. It might sound cheesy, but it's the truth. All right. So
that's a core value in our household. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Shake hands, eye contact.
oh yeah, dude, the eye contact's so big. So many kids don't get that.
Yeah.
So many kids, and it wasn't like that. Like when I was coaching, like 10 years, I sound so old. When I was coaching, 10, 20 years ago, like the kids were like that, Today they got their head down in some type of electronics. It just makes me angry. But that's enough for this today, boys and girls. I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys are crushing it. Share this with somebody, and really try to put these principles in play. I want to see everybody here win. All right, I appreciate you guys.
Be great, y'all.